Good afternoon. This is the Elliott Wave Daily Update for the S&P 500, being recorded on Tuesday, October the 28th at 2:25 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The markets continued to move higher, and several times it was on spikes where suddenly it just came in and the market jumped. Like maybe in the NASDAQ, it could have been, 10, 15 points or more, and in the S&P, I saw 10. So been an interesting day in that respect. Lots of different little tidbits came out today. The biggest one being that Nvidia has joined forces or with CrowdStrike and a couple other companies to start to develop AI security programs. So kind of good news. But what it did in Nvidia is send it to the moon. And so Nvidia was already trading above 190, and it very quickly went to 194, and then again very quickly jumped up to 201, and then ended up finishing after hour at 204. So quite the day for Nvidia, basically being up 12 on that secondary close, and that's actually where it's trading now. So that may continue to give us a little bit of a push, although it can also be that we may have completed, first of all, the sub-minuet wave C. I've not put it in yet, and I'll explain why in just a moment. And then also the minuet third. And I'm going to go over that particular count as if it did. So that the C wave and the wave three are done. Now I'm leaving open the potential that they got one more little leg up to do, and it's going to come in right here. We see today basically really did hit the 1.618 for the minuet wave three at 69.40, with the high being 69.44, almost 45. So it was a good hit, but I'm leaving it open just in case it wants to go for the full on wave five equaling wave one, and that comes in at 69.65 in that area. So I'm going to say 69.60 to 69.70 to complete this five. Now that might be asking a lot, but then don't forget tomorrow on the 29th after the close, we have Meta, Microsoft, and Google, and one more, because it's no 3 out of 5, and then the other two, Apple and Amazon, come on Thursday. So tomorrow we have Google, Meta, and Microsoft, plus the Fed FOMC decision. So not in that order. FOMC decision will come out at 2 p.m. Eastern, with the press conference at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. It is pretty much a given. The market is not even discussing whether or not it's going to happen. It is a given that the Fed's going to cut a quarter of or 25 basis points. So, but the big trick is what's going to come and how is Powell going to, or what's he going to present in the press conference. If he remains kind of dovish and yes, we are looking good, we've met our goals, et cetera, the market's going to take that we're going to get another cut in December. But if he kind of slims down on that and says we're doing okay, and we're still trying to just assess the, what's going on with tariffs and everything of that nature, once that's done, once we know, because inflation is on a consumer level rising. So again, we'll see tomorrow. So those are the big events. Those are the event momentum things. So it is an event where if you remember back a couple of weeks, I presented the tails, the upside and the downside tails. Well, the downside tails, I think did never come in, but the upside tails definitely can come in. And I probably will reinstate them. I've taken them off the chart because they were kind of hanging out over there. And I reassessed where the minor fifth wave, not the minute, but the minor fifth wave can get to. So back to here. We're looking for wave three to complete. Now, whether we did it here or whether we have a little bit more, I still want to go over the fact that it is and remains a diagonal triangle. But I want to go over that so that we have an understanding, because finishing three and looking for four, here is for an ending diagonal in an uptrend, and that's what we are in. We are definitely in an uptrend. And if it's a diagonal, it's an ending diagonal, fifth wave in an uptrend. And if that's the case, wave four wave four must overlap wave one. So we're looking, if this is the way it is, we're looking for that wave four to get below 67.66. Not a big deal, to be honest with you. Truly not a big deal, considering how much power and how quickly we have gone up. I think if the things came back down, dealers would be like going like, thank you. Because it just allows some adjustment to positions, changing around, getting some gamma take, doing all kinds of position moves. And that would not be a bad thing, to have that come in and then actually take us into not only this week, but next week. So with that in mind, I'm also thinking, it's like, well, how would that fit just now without this third wave extending it again and again and again as each thing comes out this week that is now giving more looks as they're going to be upside stimulant. So that the upside we're going to get more spikes. We're going to get just running towards the top. And that could happen. But at the moment, I have to be honest, at the moment, yeah, I know that there's a lot of talk and there's a lot of this and that, and gee, the market's doing this and that's really great. But I think it's like being done in options and there's a lot of day trading, et cetera, because to really be buying or selling up at these levels, which when you think about it, we're doing an expanding triangle up at a fifth wave position, ending. It's an ending expanding. So it's a minute fifth that's going to finish not only the minute wave five, but the minor wave five, the intermediate wave five, the primary wave five, and the cycle wave three. That's what I'm talking about that's going to do. And I'm looking to get this thing to at least stretch out for a little while longer. And lo and behold, we tend to kind of get that set up. So if we're going to do this fourth wave, and it looks like it's going to go deep, or it could just really, and the other thing that in the diagonal that really is very common, and it should be, is that everything is zigzag. So this is a zigzag, this is a zigzag, there definitely is a zigzag. And so wave four would be the same. We'd be looking for a zigzag down and for the move to come over and overlap wave one. Now here's what it cannot do. What an expanding fifth wave triangle in an uptrend cannot do is it can't exceed or go beyond the end point for wave two. If it does that, then it's not a wave four. We can overlap wave one, and we're looking for it to overlap wave one. And I'll tell you what, if for it to kind of come down, and there's two things. If we're going to move it and it's going to turn into an expanding diagonal, which it can, then we're going to be looking for that market to come back a lot, which would be, it would then just really line us up to do for an extended a longer extended period of time. That's kind of what I'm looking, so that we aren't going to do this by next Friday, that it kind of takes a little bit long to roll out, to get everything set up, and for the market to move down and then move back up. Because don't forget, we'd be in the minuet wave four of this minute fifth wave, and then we're going to go back up in a minuet fifth wave of the minute fifth wave. And that is where I believe we would start penetrating and get well above 7,000. So all of that is still in the cards. And if it still is going to fit, I constantly update it. We're not really getting any changes from the algorithms, although we have some cycles that kind of come in towards the end of October. then we can start to move higher. Um, I thought we would do it like by the second week in November. But if we get through October, kind of working our way down in this fourth wave and then turning and then starting to come up, then maybe we get out into November, because I think we could have a couple of weeks of uh, room on either side of an extension, or that it comes in a little early. So that's kind of the situation right now. Um, and let me just make sure that I'm kind of giving all the goodies. Um, so what we actually be looking for, let me just put that up there. If we're looking, we're going to run from here. We're going to put it up to there, because that's what we have thus far. So 618 is 67.15. That's beautifully overlapping. 786 is 66.53. Not that bad. It just cannot come down or get below 65.71. That would break that low there. Can't do it. But here you can see how if we're going 1 to 4 and then 2 to wherever it ends up here, you see it gives it that expanding nature to it. And that would be perfect for my timing factor and also for the market, because it gives it a lot of room to start to continue. Because don't forget, into November, we do have Nvidia's earnings. We have AMAT's earnings. So we have a lot of AI stuff, also, not a lot, but some. In fact, the bigger one coming in November. And I'm just going to double check to see when AMD actually reports. November the 4th. So AMD is on November the 4th, and Nvidia is on the 19th, and SMCI is on the 4th of November. So we do have some still coming into that beginning of the month. Okay. Now, on our, let me just see, because gamma levels, I think we did break the S&P today. Let me break it down to the 15-minute chart. And this was our day, how we basically, thank you. Here's where we started. And so we fell while the NASDAQ ran to its first spike high. And then we fell even deeper. And then the market rallied up to its high. So interesting. But you can see here, if I'm just counting this, I can do 1, 2, 3, although 4 doesn't overlap, and then a 5. Or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, but it overlaps and it's not a diagonal. So I think it's either done or it's wave 1 of this small fifth wave, believe it or not. And if that's the case, then, yep, I would suspect we will get up here, which is 69.65. And probably, yeah, it would be a tough call because of the size of the thing so far. And the next line, it's not that far up or away from it. So you kind of think, okay. So that's why another reason I'm kind of thinking that we may have completed it here, because it is almost a clean 5 and we've come down and overlapped. So, but I'm leaving that open. Otherwise, we start to move lower starting tomorrow. It's going to be interesting because we got a lot coming out. Now, gamma levels. I wanted to double check. I know in the Qs we broke early above the call wall in the Qs. In the spiders, we were above the call wall when we came in as well. And in the market, well, no, actually, I take that back. The spiders are below the call wall. And so that'll be interesting to see if they can do that tomorrow. But it did get past volatility trigger and large gamma. Yeah, like large gamma 1 volatility trigger and call wall. I think they got up and touched it, to be honest with you. Let me just see something. So I thought for sure we did. No, 68.90, 688.90. Interesting. Okay. So that kind of held the S&P in place. So maybe tomorrow they will get up and start getting themselves above these levels. All right. That's it. Our next update will be, let me get back to the chart. The next update will be on tomorrow morning.